Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Creeper World 4. Strategic Sage here. We've got a very special map, for good or ill. He'll let you decide. This is So I Heard You Like Eggs by Qople that's in store. Now, Qople was the author of the Creeper All Around and some other maps. Some of his tend to be unique, and this one is definitely unique. Look at the tags here. Angered Egg God, Whoa Dude, Boss Fight, etc. A quick level demonstrating some weird behaviors of creeper eggs. Well, how quick it is depends on how you do it. There's a long way and a short way. Now, what I'm going to do is, on this map, we are simply going to do no pause, and I'm also going to just not do any pre-map setup. We're just going to go with it as it comes. Now, that's no Spore Tower. That's an Eggy Abomination Station. I'm sure that most of you watching know what that's a reference to. Apparently, Qople is a person of culture. And if you haven't had your fill of eggs by the end of this map, then I would suggest you get your circuits examined. So, on the left side, pretty much clear, we've got resource terrain. On the right side, well, this is very low down, 0.1 depth. And of course, the Spore Launcher. And if you unpause, yeah, that happens. 500 eggs. We'll get to those in a minute, but clearly we have work to do. So we're going to lay out some things here. And those eggs will gradually work their way over to us. The behavior of the eggs is kind of the point with this map. If we set out some decent arrangements, we don't have to be super perfect here, because these aren't going to be here very long. Now, look at this, like this line or vertex that keeps moving around. From what I understand, this is doing a version of Follow the Leader. There is one leader egg, and all the other eggs are trying to get to it, and it causes this sort of, chaotic motion that it has. And the thing about all that is, if you destroy, or when you destroy, rather, that leader egg, chaos will ensue, and this entire formation will shatter. But when does that happen? As some of the eggs get, bumped off here and release their payloads, which are considerable. That could happen early in the map. It could happen quite late in the map, which means basically throughout this entire map, we've got to be prepared that this whole formation could explode at any time. Sound fun to you? Me neither. Now we're just building up, cannons as we can, because we want to be prepared to basically get out of here. We're not going to be able to stop. I mean, if you tried to snipe a bunch of these eggs, you just get overwhelmed by Creeper very quickly. Okay, time to run. So we're going to do what damage to them we can. But mostly, a bunch of their eggs have blown up, but they only lost 7 so far. And of course, if the eggs strike any of your objects, they will burst. But I want to suck the eggs in as much as I can over to this corner before I evacuate, which I think is right about now. Yep, we're going now. Because then we leave, and all of our stuff blows up, and then they've got to try to follow us, and we can sort of make a new start over here. Now, of course, as the Rift Lab is going across, it'll refill with energy, and all of our units that we have with us will repair, and you can see it can actually, connect to them in air, and resupply them that way. And so you basically can have an opportunity here for a fresh start. Now, 11 eggs are down, which is just over 2%. We've got a ways to go, but we're going to try to land here and reestablish ourselves. We need to pay attention to the creeper level as well, because if you get the creeper level too high, like you destroy too many eggs or whatever, then you're going to have a very serious problem as we land and effectively establish our beachhead, as it were. Because you'll get eventually swarmed over. There's only 100 strength, or 100 energy. And then it's going to run out, and you've got to, establish your network and all of that. And gradually build out. And if there's too much creeper, you just get swarmed by the waves. So I have found that basically below 20k is generally okay, and if you're too much above 20k, you're going to have a problem. Definitely below 15 is good. And we don't need to build any more cannons. We have plenty of those here. And as it happens, most of the creeper with the eggs is on the other side of the map. So, we're going to be fine for the time being. And often when you have to switch positions, you will not be able to move out quite this quickly. But I was fortunate to have a bunch of cannons left and also, you know, the thin creeper over here. You don't want to try to grab a whole bunch of the map. That's not particularly useful. Just enough to have a solid, because you never know when the eggs are going to come back for you. A solid amount of energy. You know, a solid perimeter. And I've seen people try to do a bunch of terraforming. I don't think that's something I'm going to do. I don't think it's hugely useful, but like terraforming the corners so they have better places to land, or terraforming up this middle ridge. But once we have enough in position, I'm going to build a few mortars. And then we'll eventually try to get a sniper up and start knocking out some of the eggs. I want to emphasize a sniper and some of the eggs, because this is a slow and laborious process. Now, the other thing that's going on is entropy always wins. The chaotic motion of the eggs will not go infinitely. You know, the whole formation will try to eventually find an equilibrium. But that takes some time. A lot of time. Now, it can actually get hung up a lot on the sides and corners of the map, like it seems to be doing now. And, of course, the larger the formation is, which I'm referring to both the size of it and also the number of eggs in it, the more that can happen, which is going to be more prevalent early on in the map. And so probably the best thing we can do to speed that up would be to just kill ourselves some eggs. Which we are going to attempt to do. Now, because of this ridge here retaining various items, I'm going to try to throw a couple of these mortars so that they can hit onto the other side of it. And then we'll probably throw up a couple more cannons over here. Alright, so let's get you out here and pop that egg. First one I've destroyed intentionally. Only 488 to go. But also, since they're still over here a ways, I don't know how far I'll go with this, but I'm going to do one of these and move you over here. Just try to get that sniper in place to take out a few of them. And we need to be ready to move at a moment's notice to retreat as needed. And then we'll take that off. Let's move some of you over. Have you fire over the wall as this approaches. Let's see, maybe you up here. So I don't know how long we'll be able to maintain this, but obviously being on this ridge, knocking them out, is going to be a very useful position. I do not want to, you know, take out too many of them at once and cause too much creeper to spawn, because as soon as these eggs come over to me, again, I'm going to need to run. So, we have 479 more to go. We have 4% of the eggs down. Doesn't that make you feel just better? But we're making good, if rather gradual progress. And it's sort of tying itself into a strange sort of knot there. But I don't want to let this get much above 15k before I just wear it down some. Because when the eggs come, I'm going to want to run to probably this side of the map. And, well, I can't really do that if this is flooded too much. So that's the point of just being cautious. They're heading more over this way. Let me see if I can just inch my way out. Nope, that's not what we want. There we go. Yeah, that's a little bit higher. Let's sort of chill out. And knock some of this back. And you can see, like, these are quite close now. I feel like I need to pull back some. Shifting off to the side over that way, though. There's just still quite a bit of creeper on this side. I'm worried about getting it too high. We are knocking them back gradually. And it doesn't seem like they're pushing, you know, like the eggs are interested in coming after us right now. So, wherever the leader egg is, it is not among the first 44 that we have killed. Let's move you back up here a little bit. And, okay. Looks like the eggs are trying to come right over this way. But then it moves off again. Yeah, we're going to want to move. Okay, fine. We'll move you over there then. It seems to be spinning faster now. Like, look at this. It's kind of a strange formation that it has there. But I'm going to see if I can let this group pass. You see, when it hits the ridge, it just sort of does some strange things. I think we're okay there, though. So this has really been remarkably successful so far. A lot of times you just have, like, the eggs will come right back over towards you and you've got to run again. Less time we have to run, obviously, the better off we're going to be. wait for this part to pass. "62 eggs down." It's just, you start to get to this point and you realize, whoa, okay, we're gonna run. But yeah, there we go. Okay, it came over here far enough. Now we get out. But you realize, 60 some eggs, and we barely scratched the surface. And you start to realize the enormity of the task that you have here. Now, since we're so far out, I don't think our whole formation's gonna collapse. We've just gotta reorient ourselves. Clean up some of the mess. They are over 20k. But, again, it's going back down. And gradually push it back. And it'll take some time, but we're going to go back to our business. Sometimes, of course, the eggs will just keep coming after you, in which case you don't have that option. So, this does not at all play out exactly the same. I mean, similarly, but not exactly the same every time. Sometimes you've got to move around a lot more than others. But in all cases, you just gradually try to wear down the eggs that are coming at you. Throw up another cannon over here. Well, looks like it's sort of spreading out. But, okay, hold on. This is a good spot. Get the ones that crossed over. So if they're going to keep crossing over, then I can just sort of wait for them to do that. And knock them out. You going to come over the ridge again? I think you are. I think each egg is in the vicinity of 1,000 creeper, but I don't know exactly how much. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive here. Because they're making it very convenient for us at the moment. Just barely holding that back. And running low on energy a bit here. It's much more ground than I usually try to hold. But it's just sort of the way it's working out. Yeah, okay, we need to get back up to that ridge. Nope. Not the urn button I wanted. There are no urns on this map. I might have overdone it a little bit there. Let's see if we stop this. Just barely. Oh, just barely not? Yeah, okay. That was close. That was a little bit too much. Might be able to afford one more mortar. But mostly I just need to be a little more careful and shoot them when they're further away. Let's be a little wiser. Just over 400. And let's keep thinning out that formation. Now it's 400 exactly. I mean, shoot, the way they're spinning around here, I could just go capture this area. It's just, they don't ever let me do it. Yeah, okay, I think this is about to be, yep, okay, there we go. They came up further. But I'm just really surprised they've maintained this pattern. They normally don't, they're normally not the way that it works out. I mean, I guess I can always move later. So. I'm going to advance more in that way. Give me something else to work on while I'm trying to watch these. Okay, hang on. Fire. We're back to them hopping onto our side. So they're having, you know, slight variances in moving forward and backward, but they're just kind of letting us be here, and they're continuing this, you know, triangle in the middle, loops on the outside pattern. Okay, you're gonna come... Yeah, you are. Retreat. That's the furthest you've come over so far. So we're going to back off. Oh yeah. They've gotten sick of that apparently. The pattern has broken. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Meanwhile, we've got to be pretty cautious here. Let's try to spread out our mortars a bit. And the question is, you know, how much rampaging into us are the eggs going to do? Looks like quite a bit, actually. Let's back off some more. Because they're like right above... Yep, there we go. Okay. Looks like it's going to be time to move soon. Let's get rid of you. Yep. This is all going. Let's just withdraw in here. Alright, we're going... Just go to the far corner. Main thing is just to go. And decide where you're going later. Because, yeah, this whole pile here... They're going to incinerate some of our some of our weapons, but some of them are getting out. However, look at the levels. This is dangerously high. This is exactly what I didn't want, why I don't normally build out as far, because if the eggs smite a bunch of your buildings and a bunch of them blow up, great for losing eggs, but then all of a sudden, you have a problem. And indeed, we do have a problem. Let's catch up with everybody else. Nope, don't do that. No, don't land. Get over here. Not what I wanted you to do. Just wanted you to be somewhat synchronized in when you get there. And there's an egg right here that's going to make my life really fun. Okay, everybody land. Here we go. Come on. Knock it down. There we go. Yeah, 35k. So we've got, like, the wave undulation. We have to not get overrun here. So doing better than I thought so far, but there's still some, I mean, there's some deeper spots, obviously, down here. The question is, when do they hit us? And let's make that, hopefully, after we're ready for them. We do have still a good amount of cannons, which is really helping us here. But here they come. The question is, do we have enough energy to hold off this kind of an attack? I think I want to move you over here. We're about to find out, because yeah, this is a few units deep. I think we're going to be able to do it, but definitely dangerous. Okay, so look what they're doing over here. They're just sort of isolated over there, or like a, what is that? A sideways figure eight. 356. Almost 150 down is not nothing, but it's a long ways from finish. Yeah, now we have energy problems, and our formation is kind of collapsing. This is what I was worried about. There's still 25k. Yep. Retreat. Retreat. We may have to run again. I'm not quite at the point of calling that yet, but... at a certain point, you just run out of energy and there's not much you can do. I'm really glad the eggs are way over there. See, this is pretty flat. We can get enough of this burned off. We're still gradually giving ground because of the energy issues. Which are pretty much staying identical, but I think we've bled off enough of this. I think we're going to be able to hold here. Because it's down now to just over 21, yeah, 21, 22k. Okay. Now, see if we can get a little more breathing room. We're really not going to get much done while those are building, but once they're up, come on, fight it off over here. Get just enough ammo to do it, please. There we go. Well, this over here is interesting. Might lose another one. Whew. It's going to take a while to stabilize this. this one is just hanging on. But I think it is hanging on. Look at that. It's floating so high above everything. When that decides to come down, it's not going to be pleasant for what it comes down on. Probably be my head. So building up some over here. But thankfully it's not deep enough for these waves to really last long. So that was dangerous, but we survived it. And we are slowly gaining ground. Take slow progress over no progress at all. Goodness, like you're just gonna hang out. This is literally like the sword of Damocles. See, the thing is, I don't want to put up a sniper over here because this thing is, you know, if the sniper shoots up, the creeper could erupt down in this area and ruin me. I think I'm just going to move out to some of these until that decides to do something else. So on this map, you really never know quite what those eggs are going to decide to do. We actually have an energy surplus of all things. Yeah, it's moving. It's more and more just hanging directly above us. That's pretty awesome. By which I mean terrible, of course. Well, I'm actually going to get greedy. I'm going to throw down a factory, because if that's going to hang out up there, like, it could come down at any time. But until it does, I'm going to try to seize this. And one of my thinkings is, if this becomes a disaster, just flooding the map with AC. Like, I'm not going to use it for energy. But flooding the map with AC could be helpful. It's also possible that I should just move somewhere else to get away from it, but I'm going to risk it. Okay, let's throw in some more cannons over here. There's this egg going away. Yeah, I think we just move towards this now. Let's see what happens. Creeper's down a lot, but we're not getting too far with the eggs overall. I still keep looking up here at this thing. What are you doing? I think it's gonna hang out up there for a while. I could end up in a situation where I, like, take over the whole map and that thing is still hanging above me. But, you know, there are things that are worth worrying about and there are things that aren't. I'm gonna deal with what's in front of us. Let's move you over that way. Move around this way. Okay, I think it's about time to start this process, so let's see. If I move one here, I don't think it fits well that way. What about this way? That's a good fit. We're going to turn you all blue-white. Let's get a couple sprayers up. To start. Always on. Okay. And here we go. Probably going to wreck some of those towers I just built. Yep. Okay, we're starting to get some AC coverage now, though. That can only be good for us in the long term. Let's turn the corner here. Okay, that's going to be all of those. I'm not feeling the need to really push out a lot more with everything else, because we're going to get a bunch of eggs over this way. I wonder why that one's still hanging out there. Is there a tiny bit of... Yeah, there is. It's still coming up over the edges here. Okay. I think we're going to need one more sprayer, probably. So let's get that up. And where on earth... If you moved even higher... Like, how high can you go above the field? I'm wondering if I, like, chirped up a maximum height, if I could even hit them up here with a sniper. I don't even know what they're doing. I guess we just go with it. Now, there's a great deal of choice in the matter. Okay, let's throw a couple of you over here. Just maybe scatter around some mortars. I mean, that wouldn't hurt anyway. If they, you know, hit us... Probably getting a little excessive, but if they hit us back here... I suppose the nice thing is I have enough territory now they couldn't wreck it all at once. I hope. It's just weird to be conquering the map, basically, while there's still a whole bunch of them out there. But I think it's kind of where we're at. Here we go. Looks like our anti-creeper is still going up slightly. Let's add another one. You know what? Probably flows better if we take this down. What the... We haven't done any terping yet. Let's do it. Wasn't planning on doing any terping, but... Okay, this is all 1. So, brush size is just fine. Not 5. 1. Thank you very much. Let's just paint this whole thing. Rather than terraform it up, we're going to terraform it down. So it's flat and will work to our advantage. And let's throw a few more of these up. Why not? Just, you know, get it done. So yeah, I think we take control of the map and get as much economic power as we can. And then we go after the airborne mess. Oh, we missed one spot. But the airborne mess, that is this. Although, it, yeah, okay, it seems to be lowering. Yeah, it's lowered down quite a bit now. And we're having fun over here as well. Bursting more and more eggs. We still have lots of energy. I think I should be just spawning more weapons in like crazy. Let's have a few of you over here. Well, there's almost as much anti-creeper as there is creeper on the map right now. That's funny. Okay, this is about to get real. I think we're going to back off here. I think our map conquest idea just came to a halt because, yeah, they've come down low enough. Yep, there we go. But the difference is, we should be able to put up some pretty darn good resistance now. Unless they, like, the occasional, you know, snipe from the egg should not cause us as much grief as it did before. So we're a third of the way through the eggs. And now also look at what they're doing shape-wise. Like, this is an oval that's approaching a circle. Entropy always wins. Well, it's not going to dominate things for us. That AC is not going to hurt either. Alright, let's get a sniper ready. And let's move you somewhat closer to the front. Yeah, this is looking pretty stable. It's almost circular now. So if that stays stable, let's put a nice another swath. I mean, that might be overkill, but so what? I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, we're just pushing them back across the board. Missed a terraforming spot. We'll do that just because. Okay, let's not get too close here. We can keep moving up along the sides. I think let's move you in the middle. But for the most part, I think we need to start shooting them. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm not shutting this off unless it becomes a big problem. It's time to clean up some uninvited guests. Especially if we arm it. That's going to help. Sniper works better if you arm it. Okay. I think we're controlling that pretty well. We have the energy. That didn't work too well over here. Throw up a few more cannons. Well, now it's just a continual pop, 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 and we're waiting for, you know, the leader egg to lose its existence. You know, I think it might actually be worth throwing up another sniper. We can probably fund that. Gonna find out. I could go energy at this point, but I like having the AC blanket. It just makes me feel better in this type of unpredictable scenario. It'll slow down the spread of any randomness that will happen if this does burst. Or when it does burst, I should say. Okay. We're still holding it back. Looks like energy is going to be relatively stable if not run short here. If it runs short, it'll run short from the snipers too, and then they won't shoot as much. So that should balance it. That should balance itself out. I think I just want to stick with this. Okay, they're over half gone. Make them go away. And just to give you an idea of the randomness, I saw a playthrough of one other person who the circular part here centered right over this. So anti-creeper was not an option for them, which was just some, you know, bad luck. But and I had the, well, I can't call it the Sword of Damocles. I've got to call it the Figure 8 of Damocles that was floating around above me for a while. So the sort of randomness that results is kind of interesting to me. But of course, we're now perfectly circular. At least so far as I can tell. And apparently the leader is one of the last 216 or so. Move you forward a bit. And it's just amusing because I'm literally doing nothing at this point. I'm just waiting for them to continually blow up this stupid amount of eggs. 190 left. You're waiting for that moment when it potentially will burst. You see their creeper has gone up by quite a bit. At least it had. It's just sort of filling this end with more and more force. This constant mountain of creeper that continually gets reinforced. Let's move you up. I mean, more weapons doesn't really help at this point because we're at our max for energy. We could push over here and stop shooting at them, but I mean, there's not enough territory left that would help that much. So I think it just comes down to the fact that we just keep firing and firing, and just over 150 to go. The circle gets tighter and tighter, but the leader remains. There's not a lot of eggs left outside of it. So most of that 150 is still in that circle. And of course we could have just taken the easy way out and early on just flew over and done the quick nullifying of the spore launcher, but what fun would that have been? Didn't seem to me like it was too fitting for this kind of a map. If you enjoy egg slaughter, you've come to the right place, although I mean, I think at a certain point it stops being cathartic and it just becomes a grind. Let's throw in a few more here. Oh, there they go. They shattered. But there weren't enough left to really... Because sometimes I've seen them fly all over the map. They just sort of fell where they were. Which was kind of anticlimactic. Okay. Now we clean up the mess. Less than 100 of them. We're going to have to keep shooting them. Eventually we'll run out of creeper and eggs to destroy. But that point has not yet come. like to keep pushing around the corner here with our cannons while all of this continues, and eventually get to this. 50 some now. And I think we ran out of... Yep. Snipers are out of range. We can't have that. The mountain of creeper resumes. And it's more and more confined now. But, almost done. 15 to go. Well, there's only a few left back there, 6. We can't reach them now. We have 20k creeper in our way. And plenty of energy, so let's just push forward. Drive in there. Yeah, that wasn't the smartest idea ever. One egg left. One tiny egg back there. That's amusing. Good time for those to forge in, I think. Hey, look, it's a nullifier. And it looks like this mess is about done. There you go, last egg popping. And just a hair under an hour, alright. So what do you think? Do you like eggs? Or was this a nightmare? In any case, suffice to say that I think my next map will probably not have a lot of eggs, so we don't drive people insane. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody.